so many that lost their businesses during that time. Well, today we are so excited to, on this is February 22nd already. Where's the time going? It's crazy. Today we're interviewing, is the practice every week. I'm Becky with Spotlight Publishing. This is Robert W. Jones from my Netpreneur Network and Lorenzo Hickey from Shapeshift World and Elevate Marketplace. Our goal with this show is to make sure that authors know that they're loved and supported, bring their work to the world, showcase them for what they bring to the world, and to really give them a chance to shine their light in amazing ways. And also for experts like Lorenzo, who works behind the scenes with many of my authors to make sure that they have the tools, the resources available to them to get their message out to the world in a powerful way. So as we go into this interview, we will step back just for a second and we'll show a picture of Robert. I will introduce Robert and we'll put Lorenzo in the background and we will come forward in just a minute for a wonderful celebration. Okay, I don't know how gracefully, I'm still learning this, all the technology with all of this, so please bear with me.
You're doing wonderful. I understand you in the back and the front together.
I'm like, there's too many things to do. Robert, introduce yourself to the listeners, and I showed a quick picture of the book, the Art of Connection, 365 Days of Networking Quotes. Talk about this book. What was your goal? What was your dream about bringing this book to the world? And what's the passion behind it?
Well, we had a limited of time to get this book out for the 2021 year. And it originally started out that for the last few years, we'd have thoughts with questions and a quote that we'd utilize within the iNetrepreneur Network to help create some passion, some motivation, some inspiration for our members. And I wanted to put them all together and kind of bring a book together that we could use in our community. And so it started out as the 365 Days of Networking Quotes. And I thought, what a great way to bring them all together so we could use as inspirational as a daily dose. And our members could have something that they could use to just, carry them out throughout the year. And that was kind of the original intent of the concept, but it truly grew from there.
It was an interesting book launch last week because there were so many people involved, and the book launch party was pretty phenomenal. There was so many that participated. There were so many cool comments and experiences, and you broke us out into networking sessions, and I got to meet some of the authors that I only read the words in the book, their words, their thoughts, and their quotes, and I found them to be so inspirational. And one gentleman that really sticks in my mind is the pilot, the airline pilot, Dr. Joe. Yeah, Dr. Joe. Captain Joe is what he called himself, and that's actually his home. Is an actual airplane that he's converted into a home. It was pretty interesting. So what was your experience in working with compiling this book? I know it was a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, it was much more work than I thought. I mean, it definitely had its ups and downs, but I think that that's what makes it so beautiful. Is it did take so much effort, and there were so many conversations, and there was so much thinking like, can I, you know. Just another hour. I have to get some more things done, and talking with my wife, and even putting my family on hold because I felt like, you know, at the end of the day, what I'm really attempting to do is I'm trying to create something where people come with us and we can share to the world. We just gotten through the most uncertain and challenging times of our lives with COVID. I mean, I've seen people pass away in my family. I've seen people that have been friends that have passed away, and a lot of people have been hurt by this. And what I found is even though there's all this kind of like chaos that's going out there, people still are coming together. People are still willing to do something extra, and people were willing to put heartfelt passion into every page. And Becky, what was really amazing is when authors when people who have never offered a book came to me and said, you know what, Robert, what's so great about this book is now I'm ready to have my own book. And I remember thinking the first couple of times that someone told me that, I thought, well, that's pretty neat. But when I really sat down and I thought about it, I thought, that's what it is. It's it's not that they never thought they could do it, it's that they hadn't done it before. And even though it was one page, that one page gave them the confidence to say, I can do this again. And that's what I think was so incredible about this book, is having so many authors who have never been published with other authors who've been published many times. And then all of a sudden, it was like a camaraderie of all these people coming together to go in a direction. And that direction was hope and inspiration and support for others just like them.
That was so true. It was really um, inspiring to see the camaraderie that came from this. But as the publisher on the book, I spent a lot of time with each page to make sure that there was the the layout, everything was good to make sure we bring it to the world in the most awesome way. But the comments, the questions, the thoughts, the quotes that people brought, many of them their own quotes, not a quote from somewhere else, their
Right.
own quotes to showcase what they stand for and what they believe in. And today, over all times in human history, I think it's time for all of us to stand up as impactful influencers in this world and to make a difference. And everything that we do, like bringing a book like this to the world, even if it's one little page, it's another footprint of making a difference. It's another path through the heart connections that if somebody just read just one thing that really impacted somebody for the rest of their lives, it's worth the time, the effort, everything that what goes into putting a book of this nature together. This is a huge, huge project.
And what was really interesting about this project is, the different approaches that people made to it. I mean, some they already had quotes. Some had to think about what would be the quote that I would want to give to the world in this format. Others were, how do I limit it down to just one quote to get in this book? That was quite a stretch for many people who came into the book. But I think, in the conversations that I had and what I read, it was really interesting to me that I say that for people to really gain exposure and credibility and even comfortability with others, being seen, you work on skill set, you work on mindset, but you have to start with that heart set. Because if you start with the heart set, the mindset and the skill set come more freely because you're in that passion, you have that clarity, you have that drive, you have that awesomeness that goes with it. And, I actually, in my breakout rooms, I was talking about what is it that you really were trying to get across? Was it heart set, mindset, or skill set? And I would say most of the breakouts in the room with the authors were, it was really trying to give a heart set to others to let them know that we're just like you. We're here too, and we're providing our pages to, if it could just touch one or two or three people in the world. And I really love that because it came from everyone's heart. And it wasn't about trying to develop more skills. It wasn't about trying to, have a better mental state, etc. It was really about like, after all this, we're really one community. We're not all these separate communities. Humanity is all here to help each other. And that's what everyone wrote. They were writing pieces of golden nuggets that were to be mined by others out there, other entrepreneurs, business owners, and influencers. And that's what really made that beautiful for me.
It was very fascinating, and as each day has a different individual that left a quote, and I just want to read a few of the quotes that came across. It says, "No matter how appealing an opportunity may be, you must have the ability to capitalize on that opportunity." That's from Eric Erickson, and then he asks the questions: What skills do you have? What knowledge do you have? What experience do you have? What did you learn that can help you increase sales, and what did you learn about yourself? So the thought-provoking questions after he shared a thought. And then Christopher Shiver says his quote is, "Value your worth." And in truth, we do need to value our worth. And yes, our world, it's been kind of upside down with all the stuff that has happened. This past year was a monumental year. But the fact is that we have the tool sets that we have available to us. We were able to, if it had happened 10, 15 years ago, we wouldn't have had the technology to connect. But what
Right.
I'm connecting with people worldwide, not just limited to my own community. And there's a real special thing about that.
Yeah, and the other things too is the different perspectives, the different paradigms that were coming out. Some people were looking introspectively, like coming into yourself and, what are you doing this day to make a better day tomorrow? Other people were like, what are you doing to get your voice out to the world to create more impact? Others were, what can you do to live differently? What can you do to say differently? Are you in the skin and the opportunity that you want to be? And it was like, and then some were like even brought, higher being, and does your purpose, speak and align with the divine? And it was really, really interesting because I saw so many different patternings of who people are in that book. And see, that's what's so amazing, because it's not all about marketing, or it's not all about finance, or it's not all about, becoming the best speaker. It really is all about just becoming the best well-rounded person in so many different facets. That was what was remarkable about this book.
It's about the humanness of it all.
It really is. And there wasn't too much really, and everyone had the freedom to write what they wanted on their page. And I would say probably 99% of it was really, again, that heartfelt mindset construct. There wasn't a lot of self-promotion in there. It really was one author, one person somewhere speaking to that one other person who's reading that page to create some type of impact with them. That's what's so beautiful about this book.
Beautiful. For those that are listening or will be listening, this is The Art of Connection, 365 days of networking quotes by entrepreneurs, business owners, and influencers. You can find it on Amazon. It will be on other marketplaces soon. But we take a time to really pick up this book, read through these pages, even if you just do so one day at a time, and give it pause for ponder. There's so much that's in this book. Robert, it would be not a good thing if we didn't ask you, what do you bring to the world, and what is your mission in life today? I know you have the iNetpreneur Network. What is your dream with that?
My mission to the world is to give everyone a place to go, everyone, and having a place where they can grow. And the biggest thing that I look at is a person can do anything if they have the power of their own voice. Being someone who grew up 5 years with a speech impediment and being so shy and being beat up as a kid, to someone who can share the stage with some of the best speakers in the world. I'm not saying I am, but at least being able to share the stage with other speakers. I believe if I can do that, there's so many people out there that I want to help them get to that same place so they can feel their confidence. They can, bask in their glow so they can create impact with others, because no one's ever been heard if they keep their vision and their voice in the box in the closet at the home. And that's my first goal, Becky, is to help people raise their vibration and voice so they can make music to the world and help others. And that is my primary goal. I mean, do I love that we offer business and personal development and networking? We do service to our youth and also community outreach. Absolutely. All those factors are a part of it. But it gets down to one thing. Am I helping people create impact with the power of their voice and coming out from the shadows and being visible so they can grow?
Couldn't be better said. So for those that want to check out networktogether.net, and there's a lot of meetings. I know your organization is growing by leaps and bounds.
Yes.
It's becoming, it's into California. It's going, I don't know where else you have chapters now, but it's remarkable how you've grown from the beginning days when it was just one tiny little group.
Yeah, well, we with this book as well, it's helped in some of the other marketing pieces and the videos that we've done in our magazine. We have the iEntrepreneur magazine, and it's enabled us to actually have a world focus. Just in 1 year, we've gone from a very Arizona chapter to a chapter that has members from England and Ireland and India and Australia and Canada and Argentina, along with still our national audience. We have members from 25 different states all coming into different meetings, standing up and being heard. And I think that's what it's all about. It really is. People ask me, why does networking matter? Why do relationships matter? And I said they matter because it is what we do. We serve. And the best way to serve is to start with conversations, with people that you don't know, and then grow a relationship for continuous conversations until you get to the point of doing business. A lot of people look at business first. I look at relationships first, because when you have powerful relationships, you can overcome any adversity. You really can. And even if things go wrong, you have the grace and you have the forwardness to say, what, we've learned from it. We haven't failed from it. And by learning, we can grow and go on. And I think that those are the most amazing things that human beings can do with the right spirit.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thank you for your wonderful words and what you bring to the world. The things that you bring to the world is priceless, and it's by all of us, because I think we, in essence, truly raise the vibrational frequencies of our world by standing up and speaking our truth, expressing our truth, and living our truth. And so this is no better time than now just to do that.
Well, and I also want to thank you, Becky, because you are an amazing person. The first time we met, I felt like I'm going to do something with Becky Norwood. I just knew I was. And what I really love about it is, yes, we do business, but it's really amazing, that our relationship has grown. And, not only do I do business with you, I feel that you're a trusted advisor for my life. And I am very grateful for you.
Thank you. I so appreciate your sweet words. Thank you. So with that, we'll conclude this part of the interview, and we'll go to a short break. This is powered by E360 TV, and we will go into a little break for a moment and then bring in Lorenzo Hickey. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Becky. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you. All right, we are going into the second portion of our session. How are you doing, Lorenzo?
I'm doing fantastic, Becky. Thank you so much for having me on today. And what a beautiful day we're having in our sunny little state of Arizona.
I know there's so many places where it's cold and very snowy and icky, and I still get cold with this weather, but we spend our hot summers here, so I guess it all balances, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So I apologize for those who are watching and you're in the cold weather. We're thinking warm thoughts for you.
We are. So Lorenzo, you and I have been friends for several years now. We connected it through a networking event, and it has grown into not only a friendship, but a joint venture partnerships, the things that we do to really serve the authors that we work with. And part of the lifeblood of my success as a publisher is bringing together trusted people that I can know, love, and trust, and know that they will serve my authors in the same manner in which I want them to be served. And you have done a remarkable job with that.
Thank you.
I feel so honored to know that we can connect and really do so much to serve. So tell our listeners about you, what you bring to the world, what you're doing now, and how it, kind of the process of what you do, because you have quite a history with doing some amazing things.
Well, let me just give a couple of bits of backstory. Number one, you and I met in Oracle, Arizona.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a very interesting and a very tribal spot. And the reason I bring that up is a couple of things. One is to me, it was sacred land. And it has a very important part of both history, lineage history for Arizona, but also what I can consider to be part of my journey, which is dealing with and thinking about higher power and things being guided and things connecting the dots for a reason, and that we are here for a reason. We are here for higher power. And that's kind of part of my soul and part of my essence. But what I also love, and listening to Robert in the previous segment, what I love about what he is doing and how he's connecting people networking wise is the ability to really focus on who you are as a person. And I've built a brand and a company focused on trying to figure out who you are from the inside out so that we can serve you. So there's so many things to share, so many ways we can take this segment, Becky. But really at my core, I've started this latest business called Shift World, where you have to shift the way you think to shape your world. And that is intentional. It is very much a way of changing your attitude about everything you do in life, changing your perspective, changing your filter so that you can, in fact, think, see, and believe differently. And when you can do that, you can get the confidence that Robert's people talked about is for the first time saying, I can write a book now because I'm part of a chapter, I'm part of a collaborative book. And I too went down that journey of collaboration. And so I just want to tell you and your audience that like Robert said, you're an amazing human being. We met in Oracle because that was really a sacred place. And as a result of that, we're starting to do sacred things. And really, that's kind of who I am. How do I serve and help support people, bringing yourself to life? And we'll talk about more things, but I'll close with this statement, which is I built this company to make a ton of money. I used to use some adjectives I'm not supposed to use in film, a ton of money so I could give it away. Right. And that's just a hook into I'm really here to serve. And it's about making money and creating legacy for my kids and my grandkids. But it's really about serving others, helping them help others. And that's the leverage I believe I serve and how I serve.
Well, I think you're a true genius. We've worked together, and you've helped me come a long ways too. Just because you stood beside me, and this publishing world changes every single day, and there's so much to know. And by the time you think you have it all figured out, something else pops up. And yet, when I work with my authors, when I first started, the gentleman that turned my world around at that time, Mike Koenigs, is in San Diego. He was teaching about, it was the change of the economy. He was teaching about all the tools and resources we had. And that was, at least 10 years ago, longer.
That's about right.
That were available to us to to really start shining and getting our messages out to the world. And at the time, I was going through quite a shift too, because I had run a saw sharpening company for a very long time. Great big 52-inch diameter blades with German automatic machinery. I sharpened for all the steel mills around the Phoenix area. I also sharpened for all the Phoenix fire departments. And I knew I did not want to do that forever, and I was like, kind of, well, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And after that, I opened a lingerie company. Well, what extremes, It was so funny. People that knew me before, and I would come out of the sharpening, and I had aprons and boots, and I had scarves and everything to kind of keep all the grinding dust off. And then I was in these beautiful gowns and corsets and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, what, who are you? And actually I opened that at the completely wrong time, because the economy was just didn't support that, and I chose a location. So everything on a brick and mortar store, it's a lot about a location, and that was not the right location. I chose Old Town Glendale, as that spot, which was wonderful, except that the only time there was people in Old Town Glendale was on weekends and special occasions. So as I listened to Mike teach what he did, and I immediately started a business, and I was working with people to use text messaging and QR codes and emails. There was a lot of that stuff was very new at the time, automated email systems, and did very well. But Mike started talking about his motto is "You Everywhere Now." And he started talking about book publishing. And at the time, I only knew the first time in my life that I knew the title of my book. And it's called The Woman I Love. And it was quite a journey. It was something that totally was a very healing thing for me to be able to do. It became a #1 international bestseller. But how I've grown from that, I'm not even that person anymore, yet it's out in the world, because I was able to grow in the mere ability to share it with the world and know that you've made differences in life, a difference in somebody else's life, and many other lives is truly remarkable. But Mike, he published a book while he was on stage and speaking and using the tools, many of things that are still available today, only they've changed and grown and morphed. And it looked like magic. It looked so easy. And so not only did I publish my book, and because it really did well, published several other books afterwards. And I have like 4 or 5 books in my head, but I'm busy right now, and it's just not coming to, just like you, just not coming there yet. And then it just morphed into, can you help me publish my book? And in the initial stages, I did that, but then I watched authors, and I could bring them to #1 bestseller. But then if they weren't marketing the book, if they weren't doing anything with it, they weren't using it as a tool for business growth, it got lost. It got lost in the cobwebs of cyberspace. It just doesn't get found. And now there's so many people that are publishing. There's got to be things that we do to keep that book out there serving the world and using it as a tool to attract the type of people that we're meant to work with and that we're meant to reach. And that's where you eventually came into the picture, is you do have some of those skill sets. And I would like to showcase maybe even at least one of them to kind of to show how that works and what it is and why it is your passion, because you bring a lot to people, to those you serve, and that's why we're joint venture partners in so many things.
Yeah. Well, Becky, first and foremost, let me plant this seed with you, because what I just heard, which was amazing, you went from sharpening skills and tools and blades, so you're cutting people or cutting things, to sharpening people's vision with be able to see lingerie and other things that were made visually terrific, to now sharpening people's words to put that on paper so that you can serve humanity. So that journey is in your book, your next book, because think about that. You've transformed and transposed yourself, because now you're doing what you're supposed to do. Now your soul is called to help others grow their vision, grow their mission. And now you're bringing in people, blessingly so, like myself and others, to help people be seen, be available, and be everywhere. And that's kind of our brand. Is we focused on 2020 about visibility, right? So it's no surprise, 2020, everybody had some sort of eyesight metaphor, right? Visibility 2020. And, it's been a heck of a year. In fact, I love somebody said that I'm borrowing this is the year, did it really 2020 end? Because it feels like it's just, Groundhog Day. We're in 2021, but it is, in fact, we're changing and we're shifting. And what we're shifting to, right, to my metaphor, we're shifting to what I call 360-degree views of visibility, right? So your TV show. For the first time, I realized your brand, your network's E360. Well, I have a brand called E360 Apps, right? It's about a 360-degree view of your world in your apps. And what's really important for you authors to understand is that you have to meet and play with your audience wherever they are, right? And so that's my superpower. That's my vision. That's my brand. So let me take you a step back, and then Becky, I'll frame a couple of things, and you can ask questions as you see fit. But number one is we're in a new world, a new paradigm where you have to live and have worked on the internet. Who doesn't understand what a search is? Who hasn't heard of Google, right? So Google searching in the internet is a big play. It is a big place to be found and be seen. It's also on a website. That's one phase. That's one place you can be found and be seen. But that's just one place right now. Now there's other two major areas that you can be seen and be available. Number two is mobile, right? Mobile computers, mobile desktops, mobile devices, and mobile apps. And so we specialize in mobile apps. So one of the other ways to be seen is on mobility in mobile apps. But the third and equally important way for you to be seen is on the disconnected or the non-connected capabilities. Who doesn't love to listen to a good book now or read a good book? You're disconnected when you're reading that book. Well, we're trying to create that same experience, and our company, Shapeshift World, is focused on all three of those lanes, those channels, or those ways. And so what we do, Becky, and for your community, is find unique techniques, unique strategies to make you available to be seen, be available, be everywhere in all three of those platforms. And that, in an integrated way, is what we do. And we do it really well because that's how I think. Good news, bad news. Right? Figure out how I help your authors be seen, no matter where you are, no matter who's going to consuming you, even if it's the good old-fashioned book, right? Which is what
there's nothing like picking up a good old-fashioned book. And,
exactly.
And I know that you can hear a book. I know that you can have a Kindle version of a book, but to me, oh my goodness, there's nothing like feeling it, touching it, marking the pages, having something that you can go right back to.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't think that's truly ever going to leave our world, even though we have all the technology that we do, because there's something special about the art of putting words together.
Yeah,
absolutely. And whether it's a book where you just finally get to just chill, and it's just a fiction book that you just need the downtime in your mind to get lost in the story, or whether it's a book that really challenges the way you think and shows a different way, and one of the things that I speak with to most of my authors, I had one very, very sweet gentleman that he's getting ready to publish another book. When he first, and he's in financial literacy, and he's very good at what he does. But when I read it, I was like, I'm bored to tears. I can't do this. And so we had a lot of conversation around that, and he began to weave storytelling into what he was teaching. And do you know that transformed that book? And it has reached so many because it's the connecting fiber is those stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's terrific. And one of the things I want to dovetail and elaborate on is what you were saying about holding a book, right? So people are kinesthetic, right? Auditory or tactile learners and listeners and readers, right? So again, back to kind of how I think and how we serve is we want to make sure that we're serving each person, not only in the different lane that we talked about, but also in the different way they want to consume a book, right? Because everyone's different and everyone has those different scenarios. So that's really where the partnership has been terrific, Becky, because whether we don't actually say it every day, we talk every day about how can we make it better? How can we do something more unique? And how can we really continue to serve your authorships? And that is really our hearts working together and beating together as one to serve your community. So it's just so much fun. And trust me, as Robert said, I have seen you grow and change and morph into not only this amazing human being, which you already were, right? But you now glow with opportunity, but your business has evolved and your systems have changed. And it's just been a pleasure to partner with you on that journey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been quite a journey. and I have to say, I am so grateful because my daughter was listening to me speak a few weeks ago and tell her I was just expressing the challenges that I was, to how to pull it all together and even to get my own work done. Working with my authors has been, as my business has grown, it's been it's labor. There's a lot that goes into it because there's just a tremendous amount that goes with making sure that that book is put together the right way. And there's book covers, there's all the, getting them started on their marketing, getting them all these other things and understanding, what to do with it. Because in the book, we often add video using a QR code because then that book comes to life in amazing ways. And so my daughter is saying, well, Mom, I could do that. I could help you with this. And she, when she was done with you, she just lit up. She says, well, this is just right down my alley. And she used to, for one of the top podcasters in the world, she used to edit all his podcasts and get it out completely, all the different platforms that were available at that time. And right now she works in the medical profession. She works for Arizona Oncology in their radiation department, over 5 offices. So she's a busy girl, but she still sees this as an opportunity to keep her fingers in. And she even created all on her own an app that would serve the doctors and the staff, and they were too busy with COVID stuff that they didn't really take a good look at it. But she was, the people behind it were just amazed at how brilliant she was able to do that. It was pretty cool. So what are the things as far as the tool sets that we haven't gone into that? I would like to kind of take at least one of those and discuss what that looks like and what that is. And,
sure. Well, let's try to take.
Go ahead.
Well, let's take a story, right? The story is how do we use 3 different tools in 3 different platforms and 3 different user experiences? How do we weave those 3 things into our authors community, which you and I have collaborated on? So let's start with this. So one of the things that we all know, we're not handing out business cards anymore, right? We're physically not able to do that. So one of the things that we do with you, and all of these are modeled inside of your business, right? All of these are available to people inside of your business. So one of the first things we started talking about is creating a digital business card, which is the ability to simply say a short link, which is a mobile landing page or a mini website that is the beginning of talking about you, your business, your book, and your message and your mission. Right? So that digital business card has lots of information on it, but it's like a mini website, but it's served up and made available mobile. So we have one for you, elevate.bi/spotlight. So you'll see Becky's business card if you go to that, elevate.bi/spotlight. And elevate.bi in our world stands for elevate your business information. And in my world, I talk about elevation all the time. So we've got a digital business card, elevate.bi/spotlight. That's how we get the initial, that's what I call it, for hopefully no one's gonna get mad at me. That's why I call it the first arrow out of my quiver, right? The first thing I want to do as an author is share my business card, share my information, and let people buy the book, see the book, touch the book in digital form, right? So that's really cool. The second thing that we do is we take that same information, that same copy, that same content, that same message, right? Because you as an author, you don't have 10 different messages. You've got one message in a book that's important, right? It's your business card, business calling card. Books are so many valuable those books are valuable for so many different reasons. So the second thing is we put that in a mobile app. And so now it's similarly said in Spotlight Publishing's mobile app, which we helped build and craft and maintain with you, that gives you the ability to take those same authors, that same book, that same information, and be available on a mobile device. just like this, a mobile device, right? And this mobile device idea is that now people can download from the store, see yourself in a community of authors. So the card itself is primarily you, right? So that's all about your lane, your book, your information. The mobile app is now the community. Why do you want to be part of a community? Same reason you go to an auto mall, right? You want to go to one car shop, you want to go to another car shop. You want to go to see one book at a bookstore, you want to go see another book at a bookstore. We have and want variety. So the digital app, the mobile app, gives us the next layer of the next opportunity of tools. We support that. We sell those. We build those. We can construct those. We do everything we can. And Becky doesn't even know. I got some brand new ideas that came out of last week's that we're going to help create a directory within a directory within a directory. Sounds kind of weird, but we're going to do some really cool things to help your authors find their community. I'm all about reach and leverage. And so that's another topic. All right, so let's keep it simple. We got a mobile app where you can be in a community of authors and you can download it from the app stores. Super cool, and get that right away. Then the third piece, and the third lane, and the third component is, how do I take the digital business card in my story, connect it to the app, which we've done, right? So the card itself actually shows you how to download the app. And from the app, it shows you how to take products and services that are offered, again, inside of Spotlight. So when you go to the digital business card, you see products and services available. Some of them are ours and some of them are other parties. A lot of them are Becky's. And then you have the digital app, which lets you see all of the authors and all the content. So now I can get more books and more information. And now we take you from the app back to the website where I can actually consume courses either in the app or on a desktop. And we all know that we're in transition. If you don't think about it, I'm going to remind you, not everybody loves a mobile phone to watch a story, watch a movie, do things. You want to do it on a computer or a desktop, right? So now the mobile app pushes us back to the desktop and vice versa. So what we've done in this story is we've 3 unique pieces of technology. We've consistently branded each of those different pieces of technology or ways to consume, and we've made it available so that as an author, I can be part of a community and be part of other things bigger than me, which is how we serve, right? We're all doing something bigger than ourselves. Your messages, you authors out there, you authors in writing, you authors in work, or you authors that are going rinse and repeat, do it again, your message is the most important thing. And I'll leave you with this, Becky. You can ask more questions as you see fit. The number one thing we all want you to know as authors and as human beings, you are special, you are unique, and you are here to do something special and unique. And we encourage you to do that. And that's why we're here.
So what I have found from this, and I think we spoke sometime middle of last week when I asked you if you would work with my daughter to help me with my back end stuff done because I wasn't getting it done, is that these tool sets that you bring to the table are kind of part of that you everywhere now thing. But it also, because this, as soon as I learn that just one little piece of extra, it's been a challenge for me to even learn how to use this platform. We've got to, putting the backgrounds and everything. But this very broadcast that's going on to all of the places, E360 TV goes very far. And it's also right now streaming live to my YouTube channel. It's streaming live to my Facebook pages. And when I interview my authors, typically I also have it connected to their Facebook pages. It's going everywhere. And it could, if I took the time to make it all happen, it could go stream live right on my app, my mobile app. Exactly. And that's my next step because you're going to teach me that one. But the fact is that, for a long time, part of the success of my business is that I interview experts. I've interviewed authors. And at one point I was just using a tool set that would let me go to one place and one place only. And it could be shared, but that was a lot of work when you're busy and the time that it took to make sure that it was shared the right way. And often it would just sit there, the recordings. I have all the recordings, but where did it go? And now at our fingertips is allowing I don't have to go now to YouTube and upload this conversation or this video. Yeah. this saves in this platform. It saves as an audio and as a video. So there you have the workings for a podcast and streaming live on so many places, but also putting these tool sets together. It's part of that without having to do a massive amounts of work. It just streamlines it. And so for the things that I've been looking for my authors, the tool sets that I offer to my authors is how to be in all those places without having to, but it's impossible to be physically in all of those places, but how to be in those places without totally destroying your life because you're exhausted of all the things that need to be done one by one by one. This brings it all together.
Yeah, I love that, Becky. So I was laughing as you were talking, and sometimes we channel different things. And I don't know how many of you people are watching and happen to see the movie The Graduate. But in that movie, The Graduate, one of the greatest lines that came out of it that stuck with me for whatever reason is the concept when they're talking about in the future. Think about the future. The future is all about this. And he said the word plastics. This is back in, I think it was in the 60s, if I'm right. You talk about plastic. Everything we know is plastic right now. But back in the day, movies predict the future. Life is predictable by the future. Back in the day, when Robert was talking about relationships, I built business relationships from the first day I started doing business. And so I've been doing this. So I'm not sort of dubbing myself, but I kind of feel like I'm the father of business relationships in some regards on the technology side, because I built partnerships and details and programs, and I help teach Microsoft and other people in their world, in my world, how to do those kinds of things, or at least we collaborated, right? So it's about collaboration. I don't teach, but we were working on it together. But what this means is now the word for today is integrations, right? Integration. And what I will tell you, because I'm doing partnerships by definition is a clean sheet of paper. How do we make something work for you, for me, and for our clients? Well, but the way I start is what's great for our clients and how does it work for you? And then how can it work for me? So I work backwards. And so partnerships are huge, but integration is even more huge, because what I just shared is my story about the different integration between the tools. And at the end of the day, here's how we serve your clients, your authors, and your team. Is we say, you do what you do best and we do the rest, right? And that's literally, you do what you do best and we do the rest, because I've helped start 18 software technology companies. I've helped build businesses, and I'm old. What does that mean? I know what not to do. I've learned all these things. I have a great set of resources, and I have great vision and strategy to make a difference. And really, that's all we want to do when it comes down to serving your clients. So whether it's a Facebook bot, or whether it's a digital business card, or whether it's social media postings, we have all of these tools, arrows in our quiver, that we bring to the table to make your authors visible based on who they are, the audiences that they serve, and most importantly, the way you serve, right? Because the way you serve is directly tied to how we want to make you available and visible.
Well, I think that, you couldn't have said it better. And the thought to me that that comes up is, we're not meant to do this all alone. We're not a ship out in the sea all by ourselves. And I have a quote that I just totally love, and I always keep it on my desk, because it says, no one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play it. Mm-hmm. And in my heart, and what I've seen for myself and for my clients, for the authors that I work with, is that use the tool sets and joint venture with people that maybe they're not doing exactly what you're doing, but they're supporting the audiences that you're supporting. Right. They bring the different things together to help serve in greater ways, and never be afraid to reach out and joint venture with people that you don't just listen to what they say and say, yeah, I'm going to do that. You test them out, check them out, use their tool sets, use their wisdom, and combine that and bring to your audiences things that will serve those that you're speaking to the best. And that's pretty much what we've been able to construct, and with this and it's what's been setting my business apart, because I've been able to offer these tool sets.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I love, again, I'll kind of bring you back. This is post Oracle days, but a little bit after that. And what you and I first sat down and we started talking about, and that was, and I do this with our both our clients and our partners, as we say, again, that blank sheet of paper, what's going to be in your best interest? And what do we do that will walk a relationship forward so that we can gain trust, we can work together, and we can earn respect and make a difference? And that's really how you and I started. So now I would say we're really a full-fledged partnership where we do just about everything together. We serve and support each other's communities in every way we can. But that all started with that first step, that first journey of walking together to figure this out. And there, whether you're partnering with in your book and you're looking for a lookalike audience or an audience where you can partner, we have things that we haven't even talked about yet, Becky, that we're already doing. We're doing shows and other TV shows and other TV spots to bring people together. We want to highlight your authors. We want to highlight your communities, working with some of my community, which is just massively influential, to get people's message out. And so I want, for those of you who are here and watching for the first time or listening live, just know this, that if you have something to say and be available to the community, and it's not already in a book, talk to Becky. If it's in a book and you have something that you're not getting the vision and the traction that you need, then talk to Becky and let her get you in touch with me. But at the end of the day, we can only serve you if you say to us, I'm here, I'm ready to be served. And the being ready is the number one thing that I talk about being actionable. You have to be actionable. So if at the end of the day, you can sit and talk and think about it, but if you don't take action, your message isn't going to get heard. And if this is motivating you, if you're feeling this energy behind these messages, then you're going to say to yourself, it's time. Something called me to this show. Something called me to work with Becky. It's time. And I'm telling you, we're here to help you because it's time.
At some point, one of our next shows, I'm going to bring you on and we'll share the screen and we'll let you demonstrate how
Sure.
this works. Because I think that, I'm a real, I got to see it, got to touch it, got to feel it, got to see how it really works. And you do a really, really good job on showcasing that. And so this is where we are. This is a time when we have so much at our fingertips if we just know about it and know how it works and what to do with it. And the brilliance behind it all, because our world is changing, ever changing. And we have a worldwide platform of hearts that we can reach. And thank you for bringing what you do to the world. At this time, I want to bring back Robert and have a conversation, the three of us together for the last 7 minutes of this broadcast. And so, Robert, are you ready? I'm going to bring you in. There we go.
I am ready. I am ready.
Always ready.
Let's do this.
So as we open up the discussion for the last few minutes of this show, you both are brilliant, amazing human beings that have brought so much to your world in your own special ways. So from the conversations you've listened, Lorenzo, to Robert, I know you guys have met other times, other events, and vice versa. Robert, you've seen the things that and now you've even heard probably a little more in depth of the things that Lorenzo has brought to the world. So let's open up to the conversation on why this is so important and why this time is the time to shine.
Well, I'll go ahead because I got to listen to Lorenzo, and what I love is he concentrates on the methods, and I look at so many people, and what I like, and Lorenzo said, we both have been around a while, and what's really nice about being around a while is we have perspective, and we both know you can use all the methods in the world, but if you're not clear on your mission and you're not clear on your message, it doesn't matter what your method looks like. And I think what you do, Becky, and what you do, Lorenzo, is you help people understand, hey, I think you have a great thing. I can help you deliver your message, your mission to the right audience. And if not, you both step back and you say, wait a minute, let me give you some perspective here. And I can help you create more impact if we just create a few clarities. And that's one of the things that I like doing as well. We look at, like, when we work with people in our community, many of them have a lacking of their clarity. They have a lacking of their alignment. They have a lacking of certain passions. And sometimes by getting up and speaking in front of people, they start to hone in and clarify, and they start to, start driving their passion. And then, we can start working with the method. But we are definitely in a world that is digital. And quite frankly, it's not going away. And this last year, it just sped up amazingly. I mean, I have my own 80-year-old mom, and she goes to me. She's telling me how to run better Zooms, and she didn't even use Zoom like 4 months ago. So you can tell that this is just affecting an audience even that probably never thought they'd step in the shoes of being, on screen. So we are in amazing times.
Yeah, I want to echo what I really loved about what Robert's done, and I'm going to call it a coffee table book because I haven't read it. I've seen parts of it, but I understand the value of what you're doing. And the idea is you can pick it up at any time, right? You can pick it up off that coffee table. You can grab it, and basically, I would challenge anybody as you buy the book and you read the book and you go through it, open up to a page, and let that inspiration guide you to the next thing you're supposed to be called and to do. Right? Because we don't really talk often about our personal journeys and our spiritual journeys or whatever they are, what powers or what we believe in. But I know that Robert, having known him and his wife and his family, are very committed to making a difference, right? Go make a difference. And so I think this book, by looking at the people and the contributions coming in that book, there's a message in there for each of you. Go check it out, see what it is.
Couldn't be better said. So for the author, or for those that are listening, whether you're an author, you're thinking about becoming an author, you've published books and they're just kind of lost, they're not going anywhere, or you're anywhere in between any of those stages, realize that there are the tool sets, there are the communities of people, there is a world right open to you, waiting to hear your message. And this is the whole heart and soul behind Spotlight Studio, and what we're bringing to the world is to showcase every single time. We are here Monday mornings and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And it's a showcase of the brilliance. We have a book launch on Friday. Our interview is with Robin Galinsky and Dr. Dennis Becker, and it's Outwitting the Manipulator. Protecting yourself in real time. The week after that the books that are coming out is just totally amazing. So one book at a time, one heart at a time, reaching out and taking that ripple effect through the world is what we're after. And the showcase is the way we've set this show up is to bring experts, and doesn't mean our authors are not experts. They are experts too, but also the experts that know the marketing aspect of it. Friday's show, along with the couple from Outwitting the Manipulator, is Suzanne Chisman, and then she gives books wings by taking our authors out to an audience on her radio show of 500,000 listeners. And she does a lot in the background to help an author really help them get concise with their message. So for all those that have listened, will listen, thank you for being on this show. Thank you to wonderful gentlemen for bringing your heart and soul to the world, and keep doing what we're doing. And the collaboration is what's going to be by far the success of what we're doing. So that's the end of the show, except for our last little remaining commercial. And thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for those that are listening.
Thank you.
There were so many that lost their businesses during that time.